Good morning, everyone. Okay, so today we are going to cover the topic of automation and how you can get things done automatically and leverage more time throughout the day. So first, we're going to wait for a few people to just join us on this training so we can have some participation from anyone that's watching. Let's go ahead and see if we can set everything up. I'm going to share this with everyone. If you guys are watching and you think this is insightful, please share it with your friends so they can learn this stuff too. How's everybody doing? Hey, Matthew. What's up, brother? Congratulations on that accepted offer. I knew one day we'd do a deal together. Okay, good. Awesome. All right, guys. So I shared this with everyone here in our office and some of our groups. So let's go ahead and get started on today's training for automation and how we can automate all the mundane tasks within our real estate business. So first of all, I'm going to talk about a program that we started using about 6 months back called Zapier. I know some of you guys probably use this for a much longer time than us. We found some pretty creative ways to use Zapier. If anybody's watching and you guys have some other ideas and other ways to use Zapier, I know there's thousands of integrations that you can actually do. Please share. So the first thing I want to talk about with Zapier or Facebook, how you can take your Facebook ads, your Facebook leads from the ads, and you can throw them right into your CRM and assign a drip campaign to them automatically. So this will be working for you nonstop 24/7. Oh, we lost connection?
It's paused. Yeah.
It's paused or it's gone?
It's
back? Okay, we're back.
Yep.
All right, good. So what I was saying is we're going to learn first how to take Zapier and take our leads from Facebook, or we can take our leads from just about anywhere. But in this example, we're going to use Facebook, and how we can assign a drip campaign to them immediately, right off the back, as soon as they come into our funnel. So Pam, what's up, Pam? How are you? This is actually who I learned it from, is Pamela. So this is the first step that I learned to use with Zapier. Then I started using it for some other things, and you guys will really enjoy the other stuff as well. So first thing, I'm going to show you guys what Zapier looks like. So on the right-hand screen here, you guys can see that we have our Zapier site up. We're going to go into our main dashboard, and we're going to look at some of our Zaps that we have currently working. Let's see if I have it here. Okay, good. So one of the Zaps that I'm going to cover with you guys first is the Zap for, I think we had a real popular one that we just turned off. Okay, this is Union County homes under 250,000. So the way this works is first you have to tell Zapier, and by the way, guys, this is not a training on how to create a Facebook ad. This we've already covered in previous trainings. If you just look at maybe, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we did how to do Facebook ads. What this is that the progression of the next step of what you can do with Facebook ads. So the first thing we're going to do with Zapier is tell Zapier that we want to take all the leads from our Facebook ad, from our lead generation ad, and then go ahead and take that information from there, put it through Zapier, and it's going to look something like this. Okay? Put it there, and it's going to have you run through these steps first to make sure everything lines up correctly. So first thing it's going to do is ask you, okay, so this is going to trigger when a new lead comes in from Facebook. Next thing it's going to ask you to do is pick which campaign it is or which lead form that you're going to be taking the data from. So when you're creating the lead form, make sure you name it something that you're going to remember what it is. And go ahead and test it just to make sure it's always working. This one's successful. All right, here it's going to ask you which page you want to use. Some people have several pages. Obviously with us, we're just going to go ahead and use our main culture state page. Next thing you're going to see is the forms. So which form is it out of all of your campaigns that you want to use for this particular ad or this particular integration? So with us, we're just going to use the form that said Union County Homes under 250. We're going to continue. Okay, here it's going to pull in a sample lead just to show you that it's working. Okay, now the first step, which is called the trigger, has been done. Once the trigger is complete, then you're going to move on to the next step, which is where you want the data to go. So in our case, we use conversion, which is our CRM here. And with conversion, we're going to set it up so conversion knows how to read the data from Facebook. All right, so now we know we've got this. We got this up. Once a new lead comes in, it's going to add a new lead to our account. You're going to simply go here to this section and pick which of our which of our conversion accounts we want to use. So it just pick, once you've integrated it, it'll be there forever. Just check and make sure it's working. Everyone should obviously only have one conversion account. Okay, next step here is you're going to map your data. So obviously here you're going to want to put the email address with the appropriate email address. So you're just going to look for the email address here on your drop-down screen. For us, it's already been done, so we're going to just leave it with that information, which was right here. I have a duplicate, so I'm just going to erase one of them. Then it's asking you for the phone number, which is, it says optional, but for us, it's really not optional. We definitely want the phone number. Okay, so that you'd find right here. Make sure that's clicked. Then you see the phone number. Then you're going to go for full name. Full name would be right here. And you have yourself pretty much enough data to go ahead and start putting this person into your drip campaign so they can start hearing from you as often as you programmed it to. So now once we continue, it'll tell us that a test lead was sent the conversion about 1 month ago. We're going to retest this right now to make sure it's working. Send test the conversion. And it looks like it was done successfully. That's awesome. Now, you're pretty much just about done now when it comes to making this automation work, except for now, you have to go into conversion, and you got to make sure that these new leads that are coming in are getting the right drip campaign. So how you do that is when you're back here and you're editing the template, we have to make sure that the hashtag that you see here, where it says Union County under 250K, you have to make sure that the new leads that are coming in are getting hashtagged with this. Okay, the way you do that is simply by going into your conversion, going into your settings, and making sure that the drip campaign that you've set up, if you scroll down, we have a drip campaign for our default buyers. I think it's default buyer drip campaign. Let's see if we have it here. I think it might say generic. Okay. Seller. Friends and family. Expired.
Just the one that say Zapier key or something.
I'm sorry? Yeah, I think it might say Zapier, yeah.
Zapier key.
Mm-hmm. So,
conversion Zapier.
Yeah, I think we have it somewhere here.
It's like at the beginning.
Is that the beginning? Sure.
I mean, this...
Maybe for you, because everybody has them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so here, where you see, that's a Mojo buyer drip campaign. Where's our drip campaign? Yeah. All right, it's not here. All right, so let's just go ahead and use this one here because I think when we deactivated, we got rid of the drip campaign. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our drip campaign that we want to use, in this case, we're probably going to want to use something similar to this one. It says buyer drip. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to make sure that this hashtag matches the hashtag that we're importing from Zapier. So in this case, we're going to scroll down to where we see Union County homes under 250. So we see it right here. So now once that's assigned, every one of those people are going to get our drip campaigns for that purpose. Okay, so now we don't have to do anything else. Now every time a new lead comes in from Facebook, gets sent from the Facebook to Zapier, they're going to start getting a drip campaign automatically. And then every time, well, not every time, but let's see, every few days, let's see, on the first day, they're going to get an email saying, hey, thank you for requesting a list of homes. Let us know if we can answer any questions. Questions you have, thank you. And then that's an email. Then on day 3, they're going to get a text message that says, check out our app. When you're searching for homes, it will make life much easier. And then it has your app information here. Then on day 7, you have an email that says, hey, first name. And by the way, it's not going to say first name. It's going to pull their first name and make it personalized. It's going to say, one of our clients just scored an incredible deal at a sheriff sale. Would you be interested in knowing more about the process? That's 7. Even though they may not buy a sheriff sale, it's just a good way to start a dialogue with them. It's a very interesting thing that most agents won't offer to them. And then so on and so forth. We've set them out to go 120 days out. You guys can actually expand on this. You can make it go out all the way to 720 days. So you can take these drips and you can just expand on them if you like. All right, next thing now is we're going to talk about, if no one has a question on this, we're going to talk about how we can use Zapier for Mojo. And I know some of you guys use Mojo for prospecting sellers. You can use Mojo for prospecting just about anyone you have a long list for. It could be buyers, could be sellers, could be anybody, it could be absentee owners, anyone you want. The cool thing about this is that in Mojo, you can create groups, right? So these groups can be named whatever you want. So let me give you an example of what happens when you create a group. All right, so when you have this person up, let's say this is one of your leads, and you're on the phone with them, you can drop this down where it says view all, and you can tag them with any group you want. So if the person was a hot lead, if the person was a dead lead, if the person belongs to Edward because he's the one who was prospecting, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call your group. Now, the beauty of groups is that if this person ends up being someone that you want to work with, but they're not ready right now, what you can do is you can just click on the group that you want them to go into. So let's just say future follow-up. If that's your, let me see, it's right here, future follow-up. If this is what you want to categorize them with, future follow-up, then what happens is Mojo will then forward this data of this person to Zapier. And then Zapier will take the data from Mojo and put it into conversion with an assigned drip campaign. So while you're making these phone calls and you get someone that's a future follow-up, you can click that, port them through conversion, port them through Zapier, and then conversion will have them all set up as a seller lead or a buyer lead. So that's a really cool way of you not having to do it manually every time you finish a 2-hour prospecting session, and then you have to go back and input one by one, whoever was good, whoever was bad. That'll do it all for you. So the way you would do that is very simple. You go into your Zapier. Let's go back into our dashboard, and we're going to look at one of those zaps. So here, seller feature follow-up from Mojo. We're going to look at the zap. Okay, so now this zap, what it's going to do is you're going to open it up, and you're going to see here that you're telling it to pull the data from Mojo. And then once you get a new contact in Mojo, then it'll ask you to then further pick which Mojo account you want to use. Okay, you want to test it, make sure it's working, make sure you haven't changed your passwords or anything. Then once you've done that, it's going to ask you which group do you want to designate in order to pull that data and move it to the next one. So in this case, we're going to designate future follow-up. Go to the next one. It's going to pull in a sample data for you. Continue. All right, it says here your Zap looks like it's working. All right, good. So now what do we do with that future follow-up? Well, we can do two things. We can make it go directly to conversion from here, but I actually added in an extra step that's kind of unnecessary. You guys really don't need to do this extra step, but the reason why we did it is because we wanted to have a spreadsheet with all our future follow-ups in one place. So then later on, we could go in and just maybe manually call them if we wanted to, because these are hot leads. But you guys can make it right from new contact to conversion. So to make things a little bit easier for you guys, I'm going to do that. I'm going to skip this middle step because I'm going to cover that step in the next segment of this. So you guys can see how to use a spreadsheet to maximize, really maximize what you could do with Zapier. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go from Mojo right into conversion. So let's say conversion was our next step. We pick conversion. We go to add a lead. Follow the same process as you did last time. Pick the right conversion account you want to use. You can test it. Continue. And now what you can do here is map it out. I'm not going to bore you guys to death like we did on the last one, but you're going to map out the email address. You're going to map out the phone number. You're going to map out the first and last name. You're going to want to map out a note if you want to use like whatever notes you took down on Mojo, because what happens is on Mojo you can keep some pretty decent notes. Like when you're calling someone, you can keep notes here about what you guys spoke about. So right here you keep track of whatever you guys talked about, which is a nice little feature to have when you have them on Zapier, because if you ever look them up in your CRM, you see exactly what you guys spoke about in your CRM that you put down in Mojo. So that's a really good thing to do. You also want to have a hashtag on it. So your hashtag on this one would be seller feature follow-ups from Mojo, whatever you want to call it. We just call it this so we can remember where it came from. All right, so that's pretty much the most important stuff other than the data of the house itself. So now you can have the address of the house, the address of the city, the state, and then whatever zip code it's attached to. And then you continue. You can test this step. All right, good. Now, once you tested this step, it looks like it was successful, then you finish up. Now, what some people do here from this point on is they will just, hold on, let me just end this. What they can do after this step is that they can actually go into their conversion, and then one day, let's just say that they're looking for a listing. Maybe there's a listing contest going on in the office and they need that one extra listing to really break first place. So what you can do is you can go to quick actions here and you can go to mass email. And with this mass email option, what you can do is you can include all the people that have a certain hashtag. So let's just say we wanted to include everyone that is seller feature follow for Mojo. So now what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to email everybody from that hashtag at the same time. You guys understand? Okay, so now it would be like, hey, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I was just thinking about you, and I have a potential buyer for your home, or this month we're offering 1% off our listing commission, or do you think right now might be the right time to sell? Who knows? But when you mass email everyone that you've deemed as a lead, as a seller lead at one time, that's going to help you also in the future. So, maybe a drip here and a drip there may do it, but maybe one day you sit down and you say, look, today is October 20th, and we're running a promotion for the next 7 days, and we will give you 1% discount on your listing if you sign with us this week. We really have a strong pool of buyers in your area. Something you want to write that's more specific to the time of year, to the time of week, so that people know it's not a canned email or canned text. So this is a really cool thing you guys can do with this after you're done. Or if you have like a list of investors and your office just got a new listing, you can email them the new listing here by just typing in the MLS number in this section, just picking your investor group and sending it to them automatically. So this is a really cool option to use once you guys have started using the systems. You can also do a mass text, which you guys know text actually works a lot better. I would probably text people before I email them, because that's probably going to get a higher response. So this is a really, really great way for you guys to start using conversion. I know a lot of agents say, oh, I have conversion, but I really don't use it because I don't see the benefit in it, because there's a huge benefit in conversion.
It's just so complex, like
it's complicated, but you don't have to learn everything at once. You just got to learn one thing at a time.
Yeah, once
Just learn one thing, and then before you know it, a year's time, if you use it enough, you're going to start to really get this down to a science. All right, so the last thing I want to teach you guys is going to be how to use Zapier to take a list of, let's say, I had an agent had a list of vacant homes, right? And he wasn't able to convert all of them, obviously. So what you can do is you can recycle a list, and as long as you have the phone number and an email address, you can recycle that list and take it from a spreadsheet and take, I don't know, depends on how much data you have available on Zapier. I know I'm allowed 1,000 zaps a month, and I think that's just like the beginner version of it. You can actually ramp it up to go a lot higher, but you can do probably 10,000 a month if you wanted to. But that's something we're going to be looking into in the near future. But right now, I know I have a limit of 1,000 zaps a month, which means 1,000 integrations I can do between one place to another. So let's just say I had 1,000 leads on a spreadsheet. They had phone numbers and they had email addresses. What I can do at that point is I can make a Zap that says, I'm going to take a spreadsheet, and every time there's a new entry, I want you to pull the data from this spreadsheet, and I want you to put them into my drip for these kind of people. So if I bought a list from somewhere, or if I put together a list of all my past clients, or if I just maybe had, let me see, oh, you know what a lot of us can do is, a lot of the data we get on Landvoice comes with email addresses. We can just narrow down the ones with email addresses and put them in there. So there's a lot of things you can definitely do here. So if I had this list has a whole bunch of people in it, and I just dump 1,000 names in here, I can take those 1,000 names and put them into conversion all at the same time on drip campaigns. So you just literally uploaded 1,000 potential leads. So you can do that in a matter of minutes, but imagine if you had to do it one by one, how long that would take you. So what you would have to do is you would go to you would go to Zapier, you look at your Zaps. I have a Zap here that says, Google Sheets to conversion. All you have to do is go to new spreadsheet. It's going to say new spreadsheet row. Every time you add a new spreadsheet row, it's going to take the data and it's going to pull it into conversion. Right. Then it's going to ask you which Google Sheets account you want to use. Obviously, you want to use the one that where you have the data. Continue. It's going to ask you what the name of the spreadsheet that you're using. So you want to, whatever name it is. Mine just happens to be named copy of email test for conversion for some reason or another. Then it's going to ask you which worksheet do you want to use, and hopefully you guys don't get confused. A worksheet is this. A worksheet is the bottom. Here at the bottom, sometimes you can add a sheet. As you can see, maybe now it's sheet 2, and here's sheet 1. So it's asking which sheet you want to use from the spreadsheet. All right, hopefully that doesn't confuse anyone. So we're picking sheet 1. Then we can test it. Pulling in samples. I guess it worked. I'm not sure. All right, we're going to continue. I'm sure that worked. And now we're going to make that data go to conversion. Whenever you add a new lead, you want conversion import it. We'll test it. Continue. All right, and this is the information you're going to want to get. You're going to have to get. You always need an email address. If you don't get an email address, conversion will not send the drip. You can't just have a phone number. So you always need an email address. You have, I have here on this, I have a few phone numbers. So you can pick as many phone numbers as the data may have. But you need a primary. So I believe the first number you put in is going to be the primary. Then you have full name, or you can break it up into first and last name. You hashtag it. You can say it's coming from Zapier. That way you can keep track of where it's being referred from as well. You want to keep notes. You can have notes here. You want to put a note in for anyone. Seller information. Actually, the cool thing about notes is you can actually pull whatever kind of data you want from there. So in this particular thing, the note was, I believe, like the MLS number, because these are expireds that I pulled. So that way I can see which expired it was. I can just pull the MLS number and then find out what property it was for. All right, then here you can have the address of the home, city, state, zip. All right, now once you have that, then you continue. All right, and then you finish up. Make sure your Zap is always on. If it's not green, it's not working. All right, so I hope you guys understand what we just did here. What we did was we were able to take 1,000 leads from wherever, anywhere you want. You can pull this data from Landvoice. You can pull this data from paid lists you might have bought. you can take this data from your contacts on Gmail, on Yahoo, on iCloud, wherever you keep your contacts. Most of us have over 1,000 contacts, right? And isn't it important to do sphere of influence prospecting? We always say sphere of influence is really important because those are probably the people that are going to give you the business in the beginning when you don't have a lot of business, right? But how do we get them on our drips, right? Are we going to go one by one putting these people into our campaigns? Probably not. So why don't we do this? Why don't we create our friends and family drip campaign? Why don't we export all the data out of our database, wherever we have it, take that information, dump into a spreadsheet, tell the spreadsheet to then, or tell Zapier to grab the information from the spreadsheet, dump it, import it over to conversion, and put them on a friends and family drip campaign, which would be really nice because now our friends and family are hearing from us every so often. They're getting very, very non-offensive drips, just saying, hey, how are you? And I haven't seen you in a while, whatever the case may be. So you have your friends and family drip campaign. You make sure they are all using your app and using your websites for whenever they have a real estate related matter. So this is a really cool thing to do because now you're going to be able to leverage a lot of time, because if you're a new agent or if you're a seasoned agent and you haven't got around to building a database of people, this is a real quick way for you to take all the information you have, take it from one place, put it in a place where it's actually going to be working for you and not having to do it one at a time. So we've covered 3 different ways of using Zapier right now. We've used with our Facebook ads. We've taken the data from Facebook, imported it to Zapier, and Zapier has put it into our drips, right, into our CRM, and that's keeping them warm for us until they're ready to buy or sell. Then we've also taken data from Mojo when we're prospecting, telephone prospecting, and we're able to port information directly from here to our CRM, and then the people are also getting future follow-ups from us. They're getting soft touches. So that's a really great thing to get into. Because one day you're going to just be like walking in the park or hanging out or something, you're going to get a text message or an email or a phone call from someone you've been dripping for months. And they're like, yeah, we're finally ready to sell. And you're going to be like, oh, holy shit, like dinner's on me. I just got a listing, whatever the case may be. And then, and if you really want to scale up, get resourceful, get creative, find ways where you can get data in bulk and start importing all that information to your CRM, because there's no cap on how many people you can have in your CRM. If there was, I would probably hit that limit already, but there is no cap. Just go ahead and take all the information you can. So take that information, dump into a spreadsheet, then it's going to get over to, then you get it over to your CRM. All right.
Has to be in that specific order, like first name?
It does not have to be in any specific order because you have to map it. You have to map it when you're in Zapier. So let me go back and show you. Wait, is this it? No, it's a selfish. Here, this one. Right, so when you have a conversion here in the template, you tell it where to pull the data from. So whatever it says at the top, as long as you have a header, whatever it says at the top, you just tell it where to pull the data from. So it doesn't have to be in any specific order. You can just tell it wherever it has to get the information that you need.
So how have you, I create a few spreadsheets with like leads,
Yeah.
calling,
Yeah, and now instead of,
leads that you send everybody.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, look,
put on a drip campaign.
yeah, put them on the drip.
Open houses.
You never know. Yeah, so that's the way that works. Do you guys have, obviously, I'm sorry, Alice, you came in a little bit later, so I don't know if you caught some of it, but what we're talking about today is how to automate our business and not have to constantly always update our CRMs with new clients or with new prospects, because we can just make Zapier do that for us. Same thing goes when you do an open house. Instead of having them write it down on a spreadsheet, write it down on a piece of paper, you can actually just have them input their information right into Conversion automatically. You understand? You guys know Conversion has an app for open houses. You can just type in their information and bang, they're in a drip campaign already. You understand? You don't have to do any of that. So there's never a client that could be possibly lost. Now, Zapier does have a lot of different integrations that you guys can use. One of them is also Zillow. So if you guys are getting Zillow leads, you can make Zillow. You can make Zillow actually go into your CRM automatically. All you have to do with that is I'll show you guys right now while I have you both here, or maybe somebody in the future may want to get some Zillow leads. You know, obviously, I'm not a big fan of Zillow leads, but we do it because it's definitely a necessary thing for this business. And I feel like dollar for dollar, Facebook is definitely a much better way to go. So I want to show you guys in Zillow. It says connect to my CRM. So if you have a CRM, you can just click right here, and any lead you get from Zillow. And keep in mind, even if you're not a Premier agent, you can still do this.
I still get sometimes I get
you can still get leads.
Yeah.
So what you can do here is you can say connect to my CRM. You're gonna add a partner right here with this blue button, and then once you hit that button, it's gonna ask you for your partner ID. If you don't know your partner ID, it's very simple. You just find it here in your conversion right here. I'm sorry, in your conversion profile page. What is it? My settings, and then you just copy this Zillow Tech Connect ID. You just copy that and you paste it right here in your Zillow Connect to my CRM page, and then you're good. And then it does it automatically. So now whenever you get a lead from Zillow, you don't have to worry about following up with that lead in the future. It does it all for you. But you just got to make sure that these leads that are coming in from Zillow, you want to make sure that these leads that are coming in have a drip campaign assigned to them. If you don't, they're probably going to end up getting a generic one that doesn't really convert very well. So make sure that when they're coming over, you're telling conversion to take those leads and add them to the right campaign. Okay. Any questions so far? What we've talked
What's
about?
the open house app?
Well, I know the open house app would be on your conversion app on your phone or on your tablet.
Not on the.
I don't know. It probably is, but it definitely is on your app. So I think that's more why they have the mobile side of conversion is for that. So if you take a tablet with you to an open house or something, and you guys can just put it in, and if you guys need to borrow a tablet from the office or something, just let us know. If your laptops don't show it or whatever the case may be, because it is a much better way of getting people to sign in. So just sign it out and bring it back. But yeah, that's the way you do it.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes you look more professional too. And other people can't put in a sloppy handwriting where you can't understand their email or their phone number. It forces them to actually give you good data. So that's our class for today. Does anyone out there have a question, or do you guys have any other questions? Yeah, there is one other automation tool that we're testing out right now, and that's a mass text blast system. I'm going to be putting it to work for the next 30 days or so and see how that works for us. And if it works out good, I'll give you guys an updated video in the future on that. But as of right now, this has worked like a charm. I use it for just about everything. I encourage everybody to definitely think about automation and leverage because, like I said, everyone only has a certain amount of hours in the day, and you guys need to find out how to maximize your time. That's how you're going to get ahead. That's how you're going to make more money and still have a life and still be able to go home and spend some time with the family. Is automation, right? So it could be on a Sunday, leads coming in, you're automatically responding to them because your system is doing it. So definitely go ahead and start that if you guys haven't done that yet. You guys really need to get your stuff, in order. And what else can I tell you? I think that was it. How about you guys?
Yeah.
You guys gonna put this?
Trying to figure out. No, I've been trying to figure out the.
Lucky for you, you got me. You guys.
Yeah, no, it's very complex.
Yeah, if anybody's watching and they want to schedule some time to learn more about this automation on a smaller group scale, let us know. We'll put together an in-house training. And if you guys are watching this and you're thinking of making a move to a new real estate company because you're not getting taught this stuff where you currently are, or you're thinking about getting into the business, please visit us at culture.estate. That's www.culture.estate, and schedule an appointment to visit us. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy your weekend and stay safe. Thanks.
Watch for my car.
Awesome.